Hello, welcome to Reality Check. Now, clearly there's no shortage of hot button issues these days. Here's another one that could start grabbing the headlines really soon. The Supreme Court will, over the next few weeks, hear a petition asking for Article 35A, which grants special status to Jammu and Kashmir residents and has special status for many of those residents. The petition wants that to be scrapped. Now, PDP, MPs, MLAs, many leaders are in New Delhi to explain to the centre what scrapping 35A would actually mean to Jammu and Kashmir. And they're really concerned about it. You must remember the PDP and the BJP allies in Jammu and Kashmir. This is not an issue that they're necessarily agreeing on. Now, last week as well, the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and said she was happy with what the Prime Minister told her and his assurances. However, others in the PDP feel that the Prime Minister could do more, should do more, and try and take steps to prevent anything from happening here, I beg your pardon, in the Supreme Court. Now, what's the debate over? The debate is essentially over Article 35A, which allows the Jammu and Kashmir government some special privileges. For example, like being able to decide who the permanent residents of Jammu and Kashmir actually are. This was added to the Constitution through a presidential order in 1954. It prohibits non-permanent residents from buying property, applying for government jobs, and so on and so forth. It also confers special rights and privileges to permanent residents of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, many people say this is unfair, it's gender bias, it has certain discrimination against women, for example, who marry people from outside the state. So the petition wants the special status scrapped. Essentially, what the petitioner has been asking for is saying that Article 35A is unconstitutional as it was never presented before Parliament in India. Both the PDP and the National Conference are united on this issue. They both say this should not be scrapped. They both say it's going to have a severe impact on Jammu and Kashmir's autonomy, and it is going to be a huge impact within Kashmir. They're also saying that this could lead to a big demographic shift in Kashmir. Both parties united on this front. Now, the Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti has said there cannot be any compromise on this particular issue, and that she hopes that the Supreme Court will dismiss the petition outright, as in fact the courts have in the past. Mehbooba Mufti had this to say.
हमें यकीन है अपने सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे उन्होंने आज तक जब जम्मू कश्मीर के तशख़्ख़ुस की तरफ किसी ने उंगली उठाई, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के दरबार में चला गया तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसको डिसमिस किया। मुझे यकीन है कि आज भी जो सिलसिला सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने है उसको हमारी जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट है उसको उसी तरह से दुत्कारेगी जिस तरह पिछले 70 साल से वो दुत्कारती आई है। पॉलिटिकल लड़ाई अलग है, मगर जहां हमारे तशख़्ख़ुस की बात आएगी हम सब एक हैं।
Now, on the other hand, the National Conference has called for a referendum on Article 35A, and it has also launched a campaign to educate people about what it means and why it's so important.
I am correcting the propaganda of the BJP, which is basically saying that it is Kashmir that wants 35A, and Jammu and Ladakh will benefit from the removal of 35A. No region will benefit from the removal of 35A. We are one India. But please remember, Jammu and Kashmir became a part of the Union on the basis of a constitutional provision. Yes, if you continue to tinker with the constitution, if you continue to erode everything that was the basis of accession, then it is those who are doing that tinkering that are threatening the concept of one India, not us.
So the next question is, what's the centre going to do? The centre seems to be trying to figure out how to handle all of this. It's essentially told the Supreme Court that a wider debate is really needed on 35A because it is a really sensitive matter. All eyes now are going to be on what the Supreme Court is going to be doing next. But let's get some of the top experts on board right now to try and figure out why this is such an emotive issue, what the implications could be. Tanveer Sadiq joining us, National Conference leader, joining us from Srinagar. We have Brigadier Anil Gupta, who's a BJP leader, also joining us. Shabnam Lone, advocate, Supreme Court with us as well. Sujat Bukhari, we're going to be hearing from him in just a couple of minutes. R.K. Bhatt is joining us, the president of the All India Youth Kashmiri Samaj, joining us from Jammu. Thank you all so much for joining us. I just want to first of all dive in and see when you're talking about the special status of Jammu and Kashmir, then most people actually talk about Article 370, and the scrapping of Article 370 has been a article of faith, if I can use a pun, for the BJP and the Sangh Parivar for a long period of time. 35A, why is that so significant? Shabnam, why don't I start with you? What's the significance of 35A? And there are women in Jammu and Kashmir who say it's a gender issue because it disadvantages them with respect to women in other parts of the country. How would you respond to that?
Now, first let me come to the gender discrimination. That is a misnomer because it has been set at rest by the 2002 judgment of the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir. It was Sheila versus State of Jammu and Kashmir. Now the women can inherit the property that has been left by the husband or the father. So just take it out. But I have one very important question. Does the Honorable Supreme Court, under Article 368, as per Article 368, does it have the power under the Constitution, the theory of separation of powers, to direct the Parliament or the President to amend an article?
Shabnam, I'm going to come. I mean, look, this is a legal matter. This is a legal matter.
The Supreme Court does not have the power.
Okay, this is a legal matter. It is going to eventually be, no doubt, discussed, debated at great length in the Supreme Court. I want to really get into all the legalities of it. I'm also trying to understand the politics around all of this a little bit. R.K. Bhatt, let me get you in. You others clearly seem to be feeling 35A should go, and it's part of that entire thing about there should be no separate status at all for Jammu and Kashmir. Why do you have such strong views on 35A?
Actually, the special status which has been given to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, it is a good thing. But at the same time, what is the use of this special status? Special status, if any state in the nation is enjoying this special status, then there should be a proper use of this special status. I have a question. I am displaced from my homes and hearth for last 3 decades now. What is the use of this special status for a community and for a person like me? I think it is a useless. If we are really Indians, we are proud to be Indians, then there should not be special status to be for this particular state, which is only a status, but that is not being used on ground. It is not objective only, I am not talking. My point is simply, we are not being benefited by this status. It is not the matter of Kashmir.
So hang on. Can I just, I don't want to get the legality. No. So actually, Shabnam started off on the legality. Shabnam, I'm just trying to understand. It was Section 370 which gives special status to Jammu and Kashmir. That's one aspect of it. 35A essentially prevents people from other parts of the country to coming and living there, buying land in Jammu and Kashmir. There is a concept of permanent residency that comes as a result of this. Is that substantially correct?
Yes, let me wade into it a little bit deeper. You see, there have been 3 judgments of the Honorable Supreme Court. 1959.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Prem Nath Kaul. Then came Sampath Prakash's judgment. Okay. Now what I'm saying is that a full judge bench should hear this matter. 3 judges bench should never have heard it, because there is a dissenting judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court on Article 370. Justice Hidayatullah was heading the bench in both the judgments.
Shabnam,
and unfortunately, the Supreme Court
I'm going to try and get you, Shabnam, I'm going to try and get you to take your lawyer hat off for a minute and just try and explain this to us in words of 1 syllable. Because I mean, that's the problem with advocates in the Supreme Court. You have so much legal knowledge that sometimes all of us get completely baffled by, case studies and all of that. So if you could just decipher this in words of 1 syllable for us, what does Article 370 say? What does Article 35A say? Simple. What does it say?
Can I come in?
Yeah, I'm going to come to all of you also. I'm just going to get Shabnam to say this.
See, Article 3. Let me start like this. The basic is the instrument of accession of the state, 1947, October 26th. We acceded to the Union of India on 3 aspects: defense, communication, currency, and foreign affairs. Now, Article 370 was debated in the Constituent Assembly by the then Prime Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Sheikh Mahmood Abdullah, with the Constituent Assembly and Pandit Nehru and Gopala Swami Iyengar. They were very important constituents, and it was discussed threadbare for 7 months. And 1950, when the Constitution came, it was made part of the... Now, I'll tell you one thing, there are misgivings.
But 35A came in later.
Gulzari Lal Nanda in
35A never was brought in at that...
But 35A came qua Article 370 by a presidential ordinance.
Okay.
Because there can be no presidential ordinance without referring to Article 370.
Okay.
Now, one point I would like to make.
Okay,
People have misgivings about Article 370. Gulzari Lal Nanda...
Okay.
One point. What he said 1964 at the floor of the parliament, he said it is a tunnel through which we have denuded the instrument of accession.
Okay. Let me come to the others. Brigadier Anil Gupta, clearly the BJP on this issue seems to have a slightly different opinion to your partners, the PDP. The PDP and the National Conference seem to be united on this. How is the politics of this going to play out? What is it that the BJP is saying? And what is it that you're going to be, that you and the Prime Minister and others are going to be telling the PDP MPs when they are in Delhi over the next couple of days, saying the centre has to intervene in this matter very forcefully in the Supreme Court?
See, firstly, we have to understand what is Article 370 and Article 35A. Now, it's been wrongly said by Shabnam that we acceded for 3 subjects. Subjects had no role in accession. Accession was the prerogative of the king, the ruler at that time, and the ruler decided to accede to India. Accession was only on 3 subjects by all the rulers of all 560 princely states. It was not only Jammu and Kashmir. So therefore, to say that we acceded only for 3 subjects is wrong. It was an accession which was done by all the princes. There was no difference in Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay.
And thereafter, every state, other state... Now, the option was that since they had only acceded for 3 subjects, for other subjects, either they issue their royal promulgations or they have constitutions of their own state.
Okay.
The kings decided on behest of or on persuasion of Sardar Patel not to have separate constitutions,
the problem
but accept the Constitution of India.
Okay.
So they all accepted the Constitution of India.
Hang on.
Kashmir, whereby then Sheikh Abdullah had thrown out the Maharaja.
It's wrong.
The issue with... I'll tell you what the problem with discussing any discussion, Sujat, the problem in having any discussion on Kashmir is that we invariably get into... Okay.
He found they did not go and join the Constituent Assembly.
Okay.
They sat outside the Constituent Assembly, the 4 people representing Kashmir, not Jammu and Kashmir. They were only representing Kashmir.
Okay. Can I
and they negotiated Article 370 favoring the sentiments of Kashmiris.